What's good, y'all? What up? Welcome back to the channel. Got another video here. This one's gonna be relatively quick. Oh god, I gotta make sure I don't let the screen black out. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. This one's gonna be relatively quick. Please do remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below, especially about what I'm about to talk about. So now, I've been talking to people about this for a while, and I've been talking on this channel about this for a while. I've been talking on my podcast about this for a while, and I've heard people say it before. I'm not saying that I coined this, but I've definitely heard people say it before. But it's just the truth, and it's actually a very, very sad truth that we have to address, and it's simply that our people, quote unquote black people, America's original people, AOP, foundational black Americans, FBA, whatever you want to call it, or call us for that matter, we, I'm not gonna say we, because I don't, and I know there's many that don't as well, but there's a lot of people, a lot of us out there that actually don't see it at all possible to put themselves in a ruling state of mind. And what I mean by that is that our people, the majority, I guess the majority, from my perspective, see that they believe that they will never be able to usurp the authority of white people, of quote unquote white people. It's like not even like when you say things to these people like, oh, how about you start your own this, or how about you do that? Like, those things aren't even options for them, because they can't fathom a world where they're actually in charge and ruling and coming up with rules and laws and policies and shit. Obviously it can be done, we can do it, but you just see the mindset a lot of times where it's just like it's out of the realm of possibility for many of us. Not, you know what I mean? If I'm not talking about you, then obviously the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. But there are a lot out there, and I'm sure that you've come into contact with these people. They might be in your family, you know what I'm saying? So they just don't see it, and that's a problem, because obviously, the motto is get with it or get left. But we don't just want to leave, especially our family. That's going to be tough to do. But, that might be what it comes down to. Because if you can't see, quote unquote, black rulership, and you just think that is just so unfathomable, then that's part of the problem. That's a huge problem. And that's a huge impediment to us getting on top, or striving for greatness. Obviously in the quote unquote black community is overrun by matriarchies, and we already know that the matriarchy, they don't take the quote unquote black man serious. And because they don't take the quote unquote black man serious, it's hard to have a black man of authority in the quote unquote black community, or i.e. the hood. And then when you have the woman that doesn't take quote unquote black men serious, and it's very rare you see quote unquote black men in the black communities in a position of authority, then these kids grow up to not respect quote unquote black men. And then especially if that quote unquote black man is in a position of authority, then they really don't get any respect from the kids. So the behavior is taught from the mother to the children, starting with the daughter. She's going to grow up to be her mother, for the most part. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly her mother, but you get where I'm going. And then, obviously, you have the little boy, who I say this all the time, grows up with a whole lot of bitch energy. That's just what happens. That's just the reality of it. You have women raising kids by themselves They think, and I don't need to even, y'all know this already. Oh, I should get a Father's Day gift too. Oh, I'm the mother and the father. Like, cut that shit out. We gotta stop. And so y'all dudes out there that be trying to give big ups to these women, these fucking psychopaths, y'all niggas need to sit the fuck down with that shit, okay? Because let's just stop. And are there great single mothers out there? Yes, but they are far and few between. That's just the reality of it. Just because you quote unquote sending kids to school and stuff like that, and you feed them and you keep a roof over their head, quote unquote, because a lot of them obviously receive government assistance, so you don't have a quote unquote man in the house, but Uncle Sam is your man. That's just the reality of it. But if that's just what you're doing, then you're not quote unquote raising these kids. You're not raising that man, that little boy. You know what I'm saying? You can't raise a boy to be a man, period, as a woman. You just can't. There's quote unquote guys out there that can't raise boys to be men. Okay? Only a man can do that. Alright? Only a man can do that. A lot of people probably won't like that or agree with that, but that's the fucking reality of it. And don't sit here and try to tell me, oh, well, this happened in my life, or this and this, and I seen this. Like, you gotta understand something, man. You can't let the exception be the rule. You know what I'm saying? Am I sitting here saying that it's impossible for someone to, weather all the odds and come out on top? No, I'm not saying that it's impossible. Obviously, anything is goddamn near impossible. I mean, near possible. So, let's not look at it too literal. But we have to, get back to the goddamn basics. And we have to have men in the house, and the men can raise boys to be men. And then the men can then steward over their children as they grow and mature, and obviously the cycle repeats itself, as opposed to what we have right now, which is just utter chaos. That's literally what we have. But anyway, I was listening to this back and forth that Jesse was having with this dude. I forget his name, but I do want to make sure I give him credit. His name is Robert Perkins. Robert Perkins is a YouTuber, apparently. That's what they said, obviously, during the conversation. I've never heard of Robert Perkins. I don't know much about him or what he actually speaks about. All I know is what I've heard from this back and forth that he and Jesse had. Now, again, nothing against the brother, nothing against him at all, but he's going to say something that is problematic and emblematic of what I'm talking about when I say our people can't even fathom ruling mentality, being in charge, being the leader. You know what I mean? We can't. It's like impossible, and we have to have that mind shift before we're able to gain or accomplish anything. So I'm going to play this, and then when they get to that point, I'm going to probably rewind it, because the first time he said it, I was listening. I wasn't even watching the video. I had my earbud in, and I was just listening. And I was like, did he say what I think he said? But the way, like, they were kind of talking over each other, so I had to, like, rewind it, like, twice. And I was like, damn, this nigga did say that shit. That's crazy, But it's not crazy. It's not like I'm shocked by it, But it is. It was like, damn, that's crazy, because I mean, the majority of the whole, like, conversation, the way he was talking, you would have thought that he had a ruling, not so much a ruling class mentality, but at least, like, leaning more towards that. And then for him to say what he said, I was like, wow, all right, whatever. But then again, I probably could tell, because this nigga looks confused. He got the Black Panther thing behind him. But then again, like I said, I wasn't really watching. I was mainly listening. And this is my first time actually analyzing his background. So he has the Black Panther posters up. You see the Panthers with those sticks. It looks like those are probably flags. I see Malcolm X back there. I see Harriet Tubman. I see a photo that looks like Khalid Muhammad. I'm not too sure about that. And then obviously you have the red, black, and green flag, the UNI flag. So this guy's all over the place. And then there's a lynching on a shirt going on. Looks to be a European being lynched by quote unquote blacks. And then obviously he looks like he has the Carolina Panthers hat on. But anyway, The Black Panther hat. Maybe that's not even a Carolina Panther hat, but it looks like a panther, and it's black. But anyway, yeah. So this guy's all over the place with this shit. So I'm gonna play it, and then like I said, I'm probably gonna have to rewind it when it gets to that part.
Terminology. If that's what you understand is what I am, then you can say that I'm an atheist if you must.
Where do you get your values from?
My values come from my heart. I mean, you don't need a religious set to teach you values. That should be something that naturally comes to you.
At that point, I would say I agree with that. I know a lot of super quote unquote righteous Bible goers always like to ask that question like it's an aha, like, where do you get your values and morals from? My personal belief is that it comes from within you. I don't think that had I never read the Bible in my life that I would be freaking some lost savage somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. The Bible, humans have been on this planet before the Bible was being circulated around. So, people weren't, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were definitely savages. People that were considered savages living back before that time, but not all of humanity were like that. So yeah, I don't think that you necessarily need the Bible or holy book to have a straight moral compass and values. That's my personal opinion on that.
You said that you're dealing with both sides, family and racism, right? And that I'm not. When you give people excuses, let's say that you seem like you're a guy, you got your YouTube thing going there, and so it look like you're doing your best. Is it best to just focus in life without excuses, or give people a reason, a way out by creating excuses?
Well, that's you class.
So what Jesse's saying is that should people make excuses, i.e. like racism this, racism that, oppression this, oppression that, as opposed to just doing what you got to do. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't agree with Jesse and don't like listening to Jesse because sometimes, and actually quite often, he's just a little too out there with his stuff, like everything's not that black and white. Now, is there quote unquote racism? No. I went over this before. I broke down what racism actually is. Now, are there people that actually go around, spouting racist things because they believe in it? Yes. If you can grasp what I'm saying, then hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I'll repeat that. Racism is a construct that was created. Therefore, it's not real. There's no such thing as a black race. Black is a color. There's no such thing as a white race. White is a color. Now, there's seed line. You follow seed lines and people according to said seed lines and culture. For instance, you have now in Europe is broken down into different. They're not called tribes, but you can call them tribes. Like for instance. And let's go to England, the UK. You have obviously Scotland, Wales, Ireland. These are all different groups in that one country. So if I was to go to Great Britain and just start, and just assumed everyone to be all the same, they're really not. Like when you speak to them and get to know them, you understand like the differences and the cultural differences, and even like the linguistic differences that are there. So it's lazy to just group people together. Like for instance, if I was just to group Africa together, Africa is the biggest continent on the face of the goddamn earth that has so many different countries, and in those countries there are freaking thousands and thousands of tribes that have differences. Again, whether it be, culturally, ritualistically, heritage that they do differently from others, linguistic, again, it's just, there's nuance there. So back to the point, if Jesse's trying to say, are you going to continue to make excuses or we're just going to pick ourselves up? Now, my point here is that I agree with Jesse, because I'm not sitting here saying that like these things can't be hindrances, quote unquote racism, quote unquote oppression, or redlining, stuff like that. They can be, and they are, but you have to understand something. If we prioritize everything in the quote unquote black community from most severe to least severe, we will find that the majority of our plagues we control. And then once we clean up all those rooms, and then we start to go down a list, then we can address those other things. Because as we start from the top and work our way down, I'm talking about from a metaphorical list standpoint, then by the time we get to the bottom, we'll have certain elements in play that will allow us to tackle the other issues. For instance, right now, we don't have a community. I say it all the goddamn time. So therefore, we cannot unify and do anything as a community. We can't take over our quote-unquote community, because when you think about most quote-unquote black communities, most hoods, we don't own nothing there. Like I'm from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Atlantic, and Utica. Now, growing up, you don't think about this as a kid, obviously, and I didn't start thinking about this until like later on in life. But most people, growing up in the hood, you don't own nothing. You don't own an apartment that you're renting. Your family might not own a car, or if they do, maybe one person got a car or two. But the majority of people take public transportation. You don't own that either. You don't own the schools. The schools are public. You don't own the corner store that you go to. Poppy got that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe an Arab nigga got that. You don't own a Chinese restaurant. And every hood got those. You don't own nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is very rare. No, actually, I will say this, actually. My nana growing up was a Jamaican woman, and she was married to this dude named Mr. Stewart. And they owned a laundromat. And, Mr. Stewart and them, they actually taught me, about money, how to count money and save money and stuff like that. And my first job was, I was mad young. I was sweeping at the laundromat, So that's one. I'm not going to be disingenuous here and just tell you, no one owns, So obviously, but still, when you think about it on a grander scale, not many own in the community. So you don't own nothing in your community. You don't own none of the jobs. You don't create any of the jobs. You don't own none of the buildings. Nothing. Not the schools. How the fuck can you call that your community? Just because you live there? Just because you live, just because you live there, that's your community? You control nothing in that community. For instance, if you have a child, right, that lives in a bedroom in your fucking house, you control everything. You control the water bill because you pay the bills. You control the electric because you pay the bills. You control the water so you control what clothes they wear, whether it's clean or dirty. You control everything. That child doesn't really have a say in what goes on, do they? Exactly. Same rules apply to the quote-unquote black community. You don't have a say in any motherfucking thing. You do what the fuck we tell you to do, and that's just it. You know what I'm saying? You could bitch and complain in your room all the fuck you want, but that's it. You're just gonna be in there crying your ass to sleep, with fucking tears running down your face into your ears, you know what I'm saying? And your pillow soaking fucking wet. You know what I'm saying? You fucking doing the I hate you. I hate you. Like all of that shit. But that's just the fucking reality, And the quicker our people could see the similarities between that analogy or metaphor I just used, then the better off we'd be. And people like this brother Robert Perkins won't say what the hell he's about to say.
Dealing with the reality of white supremacy and racism as an excuse. I mean, I don't look at it like that at all. It's a reality. It is actually happening.
Yes, it is, but there's many things that are reality. Car accidents are fucking reality. Now, every day, if I was going to be out there to be like, we got to stop fucking car accidents. We got to prevent car accidents. That's just not practical. It's not practical. And some people might say that that's a poor analogy. Look, man, what about deaths from seatbelts? Right? Everybody knows seatbelts save lives. People still don't wear seatbelts, right? Right? Would it be practical to try to force everyone to wear seatbelts? Huh? Is that practical? We have to ask ourselves, are things practical?
happening out here. That our people are targeted.
So I'm saying that to say, like, is like, all right, yeah, racism. You know what I'm saying? For what these people call it and consider it, is it worth it to, like, you know, to oh, can't do this because racism, can't do this, can't. So then why try to do anything? You know, like, why even live? You know what I'm saying? Like, if everything is going to be, you know, halted because of racism, then why are we even out here? What's the point?
By this government and have been targeted by this government for decades. That's not an excuse. That's a reality. Now, again, I don't think
But which is...
See,
I think he's missing the point. Yes, that is a reality. But what do? You just stop? That's what I'm saying. Like, people get pushed down, knocked down. What do? You just stop and stay there? Or do you get the fuck back up and you continue? And you persevere. Be strong. And you know what I'm saying? Not worry about what everybody else is fucking doing or thinking. Worry about what the fuck you gotta be focused on. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's getting your life better, so that way you can, you know, first it starts with you, black man. Starts with you. You gotta get your shit better. You know, have a firm grasp on shit, because then you can control your family, and then you can contribute to the community at large, and then we can make changes, you know, and see the change, or create the change that we want to see.
Yes, to focus on yourself and life, and you deal with the issues of life. But is it better to live a life without excuses?
I don't think you're calling it an excuse. I don't look at racism and talking about racism and making sure that our people are knowledgeable about what's going on out here in the history. I don't think that's an excuse at all.
Is it better?
I think most people know about that, though.
To live a life free of excuses or not?
What are you deeming an excuse? You're calling racism an excuse, white supremacy an excuse, and it's not. These are realities. Why would you call that an excuse?
Why not build your life as a black man or black people? Why don't you encourage them to build their lives so that it will be the white people complaining about black supremacists? Because the reason that you people...
So he said it right there. Okay, I'm gonna rewind it. So again, Jesse asked him, you know, a pretty simple question. Why don't you tell black people to change their lives and gain power, so then you have white people complaining about black supremacy? Mr. Perkins here said that's never going to happen, or he said that's not going to happen, and he shook his head and laughed. Watch.
Them to build their lives so that it will be the white people complaining about black supremacists. Because the reason that you people... That's not going to happen, he said. And mind you, this is the guy with the lynching on the shirt, the Black Panther, you know, posters in the back, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, the UNIA flag, and he said that's not going to happen. Let's go back.
And it's not. These are realities. Why would you call that an excuse?
Why not build your life as a black man or black people? Why don't you encourage them to build their lives so that it will be the white people complaining about black supremacists? Because the reason that you people are complaining about white people because you have not built your own life. So you're like the Palestinians with the Jews. You're sitting in the city of David, looking at the Jews, or looking at the white man in this case, who are working hard and not paying attention to you, and you're complaining about them rather than getting up and just doing yourself by taking your eyes.
Paying any attention to black.
Hold on.
That's not true at all.
Well, they're trying to protect themselves from the blacks. I understand that. You're right about that. But let me ask. So, do you personally believe in excuses for yourself?
No.
Okay. Do you love white people?
All right, so that's pretty much it, though. You heard him. That's never gonna happen. And that was a quick, just, you know, instinctual response that he gave. And I'm not here to persecute this man or, you know, castigate him or whatever. I just wanted to use this video to show that is real. You know, a lot of self-doubt. And again, this is the guy got all the garb, you know, Black Panther, slave, lynching shirt, all this stuff. But then he doesn't have enough belief in self to see himself ever usurping the white man, or our people usurping the white man, the quote unquote white man. You know, and look, I get it. Like, you know, realistically, in this lifetime, probably, you know, it's slim chances, but you have to start. You know, you have to start. You know, we have to start building our own. We literally should be running the entertainment industry. We literally should. When you think of entertainment, you think of quote unquote black people. You know what I mean? Like sports, we got that on lock. You know what I'm saying? Even movies on lock. And like I said, entertainment as a whole. You know, music. You know, pop culture is quote unquote black culture, which is also a problem. How the hell can black culture be pop culture? You know, when it's so easily imitated and shit like that. That's not a real substantive culture. But anyway, I just want to do that quick video. Peace.